Hello and welcome again. My name is Maxine Golden, and I am the founder and CEO of the Center for Parent Coaching. We help adoptive families to create powerful parenting plans so that they can have cool, calm, and connected children. Now, you may have already signed up for the audio, and thank you for doing that. And the 8 series audio is a really good starter for you if you are looking to get rooted and grounded and have stability in your brain, in your soul, and in your spirit. What the course teaches, it teaches about being rooted in love and not in labels, because we tend to do that. We tend to call children defiant or rebellious, um, obstinate, rude, disrespectful. Think of all the negative connotations that there are to children. And this is not them, these are behaviors. Now, we can all be misunderstood. I know that for sure. I've been misunderstood probably most of my life. And it's not because people don't get me, or it's not because I'm not being clear. It's that I have a specific calling, a specific way of talking and teaching, and it's not for everyone. So sometimes you're not going to understand what I'm saying because it's not for you. But there are times when it is for you, but you just need clarification. The same as your child. You are not against your child, and your child is not against you. It's the enemy that comes against your child through behaviors, through past trauma, past experiences that have led them to where they are today, and they have just got into a mode of reacting instead of responding because they don't know how. They cannot regulate their own emotions. Absolutely cannot. A baby can't, a child cannot, from 1 to 5. If they have quote unquote normal upbringing, they still can't regulate their emotions. You are their regulator. And so, whatever you're reflecting back to them, that is what they are going to see. That's what they're going to reenact. You have the power to bring them to a place of calm. You have the power to shape their identity. You can guide them into seeing who they truly are, beyond behaviors, beyond diagnoses, responding with God's perspective and affirming who they truly are through practical spiritual practices, brain practices, techniques, emotional responses. Now, I'm not saying by any means that I know how to do this every single day, every minute of the day, because I get it wrong and I go off key and I end up responding out of emotions or anger or poor decisions from not listening. So what we need to do is to be able to identify the behavior, see what it is, use it, let it be a help to guide you beyond the behavior so that we can see deeper than the behavior or the diagnosis. Your child is not ADHD. Your child is not um, anxiety. Your child is not defiant. Your child is not conduct. They may have those labels, and again, they are helpful as symptoms so we can identify, but look deeper to the root and be able to go beyond that so we can then really understand what it is they're trying to communicate, what they're afraid of, what they're scared of, what they're trying to figure out. The children, what do they know? They know nothing, but we can give them tools and equip them to continuously develop their brains. Now, their brains, they operate from the bottom up. They operate from like what we call the reptilian brain. It's basic, it's instinct, it's survival. That's all it's doing, is surviving. So as soon as the brain perceives a threat, and that threat could just be, no, you can't right now. And you might even say it kindly, no, sweetheart, not right now, maybe later. Immediately the brain goes into a threat, goes into survival, shuts down, cortisol floods, emergency, lights are on, brain says, danger, danger, we're in danger, I need to protect you. So in that moment, if you can breathe and then really say, something's going on. Try to get behind that by acknowledging, by validating. I can see that you're angry. I can see that your body's angry. I can see that you're upset. Then just wait to see if there's even a response from that. If there is, then you can begin to process that, get behind that apparent defiant behavior. When you see them through God's eyes, then you respond differently. And having these principles that are ingrained in us, that move beyond the surface, that help you to connect, that it helps you to connect with your children, and their true essence of who God created them to be. So you can then respond out of a place of love rather than frustration. So instead of identifying them as something negative or a diagnosis, you can think about the labels that we have. Now, for example, this is how powerful words are. Our children, I was against medication, but I've seen how focus can be so out of whack when the brain has been fried from constant trauma and over flooding of the protective chemical of cortisol. So we did put our children on guanfacine, just 1 milligram, and complete change. Now, are there still meltdowns? Yes. Are there still crashes? Yes. Are there all sorts of dysregulation? Absolutely. But there is a focus that they're able to then see, just to be able to do some schoolwork. So it helped. However, in the assessment, when they have to monthly go for these assessments, the psychiatrist says, do you feel like killing someone? Do you feel like hurting yourself? They're like, my children are not like that. They don't have this ideation. But then the spirit pops in and opens that door, and sometimes they'll say yes. And it's like, no, absolutely not. So we said to the psychiatrist, do not ask those questions. We'll let you know if there is any of those concerns, but do not keep stirring that every month. Every month, do not stir up that question. And then be and encouraging them to identify as someone with suicidal ideation or homicidal ideation. No, absolutely not. Is the medication helpful? Yes. But is it the answer? No. It's just, as you hear mothers say, it's half the battle. It is helpful. It can be helpful. Culturally, it's not something that it sits easy with me, because in England, I don't know about now, but that was like the last resort. We would try all sorts of other things first. Anyway, that it's helping, but that's my point. So helping your children to go beyond labels, helping yourself to go beyond labels, because those labels have shaped the way that you see or respond to them. But what we want to do is reimagine your relationship. We want to think about what it would look like for you to go beyond those labels to their true identity, to take your time to see what you can do to bring out who they really are. Think about them as children of God, you know. Think about them as that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. They're made in God's image. They're just struggling with surviving. Pray over them. Lord, guard my heart from reducing my child to a label. Let my eyes be washed with your love, so that I can call out who they truly are. Remind me daily of who they are. They're yours first. They belong to God. And we're the gatekeepers, we're the stewards of their lives, of their emotions. So, practical steps: see beyond the label, call them out in the spirit as to who they are, practice positive relationships, positive wording, listen to them, validate them, acknowledge them, do your own deep breathing. Anchor yourself, really listen to them, and don't feel that you have to respond when really all they need is for you to listen and acknowledge and validate, and try to work through the problem before the meltdown comes, and identify them as brave, as clever, as chosen, as problem solvers. We've got to put these new scripts into practice so that we can bring it out to them. We speak the truth to them. Do we accept bad behavior? Absolutely not. Do we reward bad behavior? No, but it is the behavior, and the more that we continue to separate the behavior from the child, the more we can bring forth their true identity and help them to see, oh, that's my behavior, I'm accepted, but my behavior when it's negative does not get a reward. And we need to help them to make better choices, just as we do in our own lives, and recognize them as who they are in Christ Jesus. So bringing that all together, seeing who they are, speak truth, respond differently, pray over your children. Pray over your children. They need it, they need you, and they need you to be stable. They need you to be regulated.